Welcome to the Explainer. So, look, we've literally all been there. You're staring at a piece of hardware or maybe a tool that just isn't going to cut it for your project. And then you get that sinking feeling in your stomach when you realize you have no idea where the receipt is. But hey, do not panic. Today, we're going to walk through exactly how you can navigate this whole situation with complete confidence. Imagine buying the wrong tool for your project and losing the receipt. This explainer will reveal everything you need to seamlessly return that item to Home Depot without the hassle. It's totally doable, and by the end of our time together today, you'll be an absolute pro at handling this.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our quick roadmap. First, we'll hit policy basics and eligibility, then the step-by-step return process, engaging staff, avoiding common pitfalls, real-world scenarios, and finally some pro tips for the future.
Number 1. Policy basics and eligibility. Before you even think about tossing that item back in your car, we really need to lay down the foundational rules of the game here.
And this brilliantly illustrates the two main timelines you're up against. For your everyday general merchandise, you've got a standard 90-day return window from the date you bought it. But, and this is a huge but, if you used a Home Depot consumer credit card, a commercial revolving charge, or a commercial account, that window literally explodes to a full 365 days. I mean, that is a massive safety net if you're doing a giant renovation and suddenly find an unused fixture gathering dust a year later.
Now, you've got to pay super close attention here because there are some really strict exceptions to those rules. Big ticket stuff, major appliances like fridges or washing machines, you have a razor-thin 48-hour window to report defects, period. Things like AC units and dehumidifiers, they give you 7 days. Gas-powered equipment, tractors, and furniture, you get 30 days. And a quick heads up, if you're trying to return custom products like tinted paint, cut flowers, or those whole house generators, those are strictly non-returnable, no exceptions. So always check this before making the trip to the store.
Moving on to Section 2, Step-by-Step Return Process. All right, you know your item is eligible, so what exactly do you do when you actually walk through those big sliding orange doors?
The whole physical process is actually beautifully simple, if you paid with plastic. Step 1, you bring the unused item and its original packaging and grab your valid government-issued photo ID. Step 2, just hand the associate the exact credit or debit card you used. Their system can look back 90 days or 365 for Home Depot cards to magically find that digital receipt. If it's there, boom. Step 3, you get a full refund right back onto your card. Actually, they can even look up check purchases using your bank routing info, which is incredibly handy.
But hey, I know what you're probably wondering right now. What if I paid in cash? Like, what if the paper receipt is gone and there's literally no digital trail tied to a bank?
Well, take a breath, because a lost cash receipt isn't a total disaster. The rules just shift a bit. Since there's no way to prove exactly what you paid, Home Depot is going to issue you a store credit on a gift card. The catch? They calculate that credit based on the lowest advertised price that specific item sold for over the last 90 days. And listen, for cash returns, your government-issued photo ID is not just a nice suggestion, it's absolutely mandatory. Oh, and here's a wild fact from the sources. If your cash return happens to be over $1,000, you aren't walking out with cash or a card. A check actually gets mailed to you straight from corporate.
Okay, Section 3, engaging staff and presenting. Let's shift our focus to the human element at the customer service desk, because how you approach them makes a huge difference.
So the crucial point is preparation and politeness. You know, these associates don't invent the corporate rules, they're just running the computer systems. The absolute best thing you can do is walk up with your ID and your original payment card literally in your hand, ready to go. Calmly and clearly explain that you lost the receipt, but you'd love it if they could do a card lookup. Trust me, making their job easy is going to skyrocket your chances of a completely hassle-free return.
Section 4. Avoiding common return pitfalls. Because yeah, even with a big smile and the right credit card, things can occasionally hit a snag. Consider me your insider guide here to help you dodge some invisible hurdles behind that desk.
Have you ever wondered why the need to scan your driver's license for a return when you don't have a receipt? It's not just to check your name, guys. That data is actually sent to a third-party automated risk assessment algorithm called the Retail Equation, or TRE for short. And this system is totally blind to demographic stuff like age or gender. Instead, it builds a linked history of your transactions, specifically to spot return fraud and retail crime.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is exactly what triggers this algorithm. It is actively looking for high frequencies of returns in a short rolling time frame, a massive cumulative dollar value of returned goods, or a really high ratio of returns without a receipt compared to those with one.
So, say you're doing a giant kitchen remodel, right? And you keep returning expensive, unused materials without the receipts. This system might actually flag your ID and deny the return, even if you are being 100% honest. Knowing this invisible system is running in the background really drives home why finding that receipt or doing a card lookup is always your safest bet.
All right, moving to Section 5, Real-World Return Scenarios. Let's take all this theory and ground it in a couple of very common real-world situations you might actually face.
Let's look at Scenario 1. You bring back an unopened drill within 90 days. You don't have the receipt, but you hand them the Visa card you bought it with. Swipe. The system finds the transaction, and every penny goes right back to your Visa. Super seamless. Now, Scenario 2, you bring back the exact same drill, but you paid cash. Suddenly, your ID is getting scanned into that TRE algorithm, and you're walking out with a store credit for the absolute lowest price that drill was sold for over the last 3 months. It really goes to show how your payment method completely changes the outcome.
Now, what if you open the box and the item is already damaged? Or maybe it's just way too huge to cram back into your sedan, like a riding mower or a massive fridge. Please do not break your back trying to move it. You can actually just text the word SUPPORT to 38698 or call their online customer care at 1-800-430-3376. They're around 7 days a week, and they can straight up arrange a home pickup for those giant items or easily help you sort out an exchange if a part is missing due to a packaging defect.
Section 6, Pro Tips for Future. Let's move to and see how this builds into future-proofing your shopping habits. Because frankly, you never want to go through the stress of a missing receipt ever again. Here is your ultimate actionable toolkit for next time. First off, when you check out, always tap that button for an email receipt. It literally can't get wet or lost in your truck. Second, take 2 minutes to create a free HomeDepot.com account to digitally log everything you buy. Third, and this is a massive insider tip, sign up for a Pro Extra account. It's completely free. You absolutely do not need to be a professional contractor to get one. And if you link your phone number to it, it automatically tracks all your purchases at the register, even your cash transactions. And finally, just build the habit of snapping a quick photo of your paper receipts before you even put your car in drive.
Quick professional disclaimer for you all. Retail guidelines naturally evolve over time. Return policies can and do change, so you should always verify these specific details with your local Home Depot store or on their official website just to make sure you have the absolute most current, up-to-date information.
Which leaves me with one final thought for you to chew on today. We've seen how strict these return windows can get, and how these hidden third-party algorithms are tracking every non-receipted return. So, with free digital accounts, email receipts, and smartphone cameras literally right at our fingertips, why would any of us ever rely on a fragile, easily lost little piece of paper ever again? Take control of how you shop. Digitize your process, and your next return is going to be an absolute breeze. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy building!